got your back morning, night, and afternoon. Join our family, connect with your crew. Kings FM 88.5, just for you. From the latest news to your favorite tunes, we've got your back morning, night, and afternoon. Join our family, connect with your crew. Kings FM 88.5, just for you.
Unleash your potential. Unleash your potential, reach for the stars, electric dreams align, show them who you are, unleash your potential. Yo, 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 let's go. 1, 2, 3, unleash and grow. Embrace the vibe, set it free, your potential unlocked, just believe. Psychedelic journeys, hearts aligned.
Welcome to it. Let me say good morning. It is Unleash Your Potential, 1 hour of motivational talk on Kings 88.5 with me, Sam Andrews, on this 16th day of August 2025. Unless you unleash your potential, success is not your portion. Prosperity, far from you.
Break every chain.
Welcome to the Expanding Your Energy.
Nothing works for anybody on earth just by sitting, hoping, and waiting. You are more from one level to another when you can realize the potential you got and unleash it.
Yo, yo, let's go. 1, 2, 3, unleash and grow. Embrace the vibe, set it free. Your potential unlocked, just believe. Unleash your potential.
Last week, we focused on time and time management. Everything centers on time. Time reveals success. Time reveals failure or setback. Time is the fulcrum or the pillar by which success is known, seen, and talked about. Without time, though you have time, but when I say without time, if you can take into consideration that everything you want to achieve, your existence centers on time, and you prioritize time in the absence of having an understanding of the essential nature of time in line with what you want to achieve, you can. Everything was timed by God. It's time as per the organization of the earth, and everything is time to come to a close. The Creator himself worked in time since he ushered in time and knows the importance of time. In the absence of time, having an understanding of what it is, you can realize success. If you will ever realize success, that success will be delayed. This morning, we are on poverty, breaking free from poverty. And that can only be done by unleashing your potential, breaking free from poverty by unleashing your potential. We've all know now what potential is, meaning the ability, the gift, the talent that every person was created with by God. It is a natural imputation. That means God put it in everybody. There isn't a single person on the earth who does not have the potential. A child born today has the potential, but the child goes through various stages of development to get the potential mature for action. Everybody has the potential. In our Liberian society, poverty is one of the real elements existentially, and it is one of the daily keywords in the mouths of very many people. Many want to come out of poverty. Many people want to come out of poverty. Moreover, very many people understand poverty by their understanding of what it is, either what they hear from other people, how it is preached to them in church, how they just envision it mentally within themselves. They move on with that understanding. Generally, most people considered or define poverty as poor and extremely poor. So if a person sees himself as not having 3,000, 4,000, 5,000 United States dollars, doesn't have a car, does not have a house of his own, just nothing, the person considers himself or herself poor. If you look at our society carefully, you also come to the realization that most people understand the word poverty for curse, meaning a spell was thrown on them. The reason they aren't moving from one end to another. And so you will see many going to church pastors and church mothers, prayer band mothers, prophetess, prophets to speak in their lives so they will come out of poverty by the removal of the curse. So what it is and how does one break away from poverty? Let me allay the fear or the misconception first that very many people put on. Here's the assurance. You are tired of living in a cycle of poverty. I know that, and you know. We listen to people. We hear people's stories. We listen to people testimonies in church, at workshops, symposiums, just everywhere we are privileged to be. So everyone wants to come out of living in a cycle of poverty. Interestingly, you are struggling to make ends meet. That means you are struggling to get something so that you will come out of your current condition. You feel like there is no way out of poverty. There is a solution to every situation or every incident. There isn't a situation or incident or problem or crisis without a solution. Secondly, no incident, no situation of whatever the nature, no crisis lasts for long. If it will ever last long, then it means the person who is going through such isn't thinking a way out. The mind, or the five senses given to us by God, not to be used loosely, meaning the intellect must be used for the right purpose. It is not hard, it just requires devotion. What is poverty? Having talked about the general conception that people have. Well, poverty is simply lack, L-A-C-K. It also means lacking sufficient resources to improve one's condition. 2, poverty is not a curse, but a challenge to unleash your potential to come out of it. 3, your refusal to use your ability by thinking what you need to do to bring you out of lacking keeps you poverty-stricken, or a poverty-stricken person. Poverty simply means lack. That's all. Poverty is not a curse, not a spell from God, not a spell from any of your friends or family members. Poverty simply means lack. I am sitting in the studio talking to you. If I have, or I want 1,000 Liberian dollars to do XYZ, and I do not have that 1,000, I am poor. That is poverty right there. But it is not a curse. Everything is available to me with the five senses that God has given me to use them to get that 1,000. If I use my ability and have the 1,000, I have come out of poverty, meaning I am not lacking. The 1,000 I did not have, I now have it. So I am out of poverty. How did I come out of poverty? To get the 1,000, I unleash my potential. Nothing works. Nothing. Nobody succeeds by just imagination, self-impression, and worrying. Here is the assurance. Again, you are not alone. Don't ever think that way. That you are alone, it's poor, you alone, poverty-stricken. When you think this way, you will use other people, advanced situation or lifestyle to suppress you, and it might lead to something psychological. Don't say you are the only person who is poor because you lack, and when you look around you, your friends have, you do not have. Your friends are spending and you can spend. It is only because you think that way, so you do not have. Your friends who are spending or their lives moving from one end to another, it's because they unleash their potential. Before I go further, let me spiritualize this area for a while. Do you understand the word blessing? Almost everybody who is a Christian and some who aren't Christians will understand blessing to mean anything physical from God, by God, of God. So when they lack and they move on to pray And when they have prayed, they expect that that prayer they offer, if they went home, they must see money on the table, or the debts or already paid. They must see a brand new car. That's how some people understand prayer. And when that happens, then they are ready to go wherever they find convenient to give testimony. And you see that every day. Blessing is not anything material. Blessing is simply the obedience from God's instruction. No one comes out of poverty when you cannot exert effort. It doesn't work that way. Blessing is simply the outcome of the obedience. So if you went to the church and said this testimony that you are lacking XYZ, you want God to do this for you, and you want God to do that for you, and you set a condition right there, which you should not do, that if God did this for me, this is what I would do for him. Everybody in the Bible who needed to come out of poverty, whatever the degree or magnitude of their condition, they have to earn it. That means they had to move. They had to exert themselves. They just didn't sit and wait for God to come down and give them what they lack. There are several instances. Let me give you one. In 2 Kings, here is the lady who was poverty-stricken, and she needed to break away from poverty. But she could not by worrying. She was left with several debts, and the time to break away from that debt poverty was close, and time was not in her favor. So what did she do? She did not sit in her room crying, hoping that some kind of manna will drop through the zinc and turn into several United States dollars and Liberian dollars. She woke up by her five senses and went to the men of God, and she explained her poverty-stricken condition with the possibility of getting worse. If she doesn't do something, her two sons will be taken. She was in not only a precarious situation, but that was a tragedy she was faced with. How would she come out? She did explain, and what the instruction was. He said two things, two questions. One was a statement, the other a question. He asked her, "What do you have?" Why did he ask the lady what she had? The question is as simple to understand. God never leaves anybody without the beginning of a solution. When you sit and say that you don't have this, you can't do this, so you're worrying, you're crying in your place, you're moving from one end to another, you're just feeling sorrowful, you're not going to have a solution. The solution is there, and that little thing that you have, it can be a talent, it can be something God will just leave something with you as the medium by which you can break free from poverty. That means you will no longer lack. The second thing, after the question, the second thing he told the woman, he said, go, meaning get into action. Ask your neighbor. She did as he instructed, and what happened? She was out of poverty. You don't come out of poverty by feeling sorrow, by crying, weeping, creating the scene by which people should feel sorry for you. You come out of poverty by exerting, and that exertion is the ability, the five senses that God gave you. When you can put the five senses, the creative, the innovative part of it into action, the world is before you with opportunities. There are too many people in this country, in this world, had situation of such. They put their thinking to work and they came out of poverty. Today, they are serving as motivators for other people. They are coach, model for other people. You can be the same. So you are not alone, and don't think that you are alone, and don't ever look at other people's condition. No. The next person condition should not. If you have just a single pair of slippers and the other person has 3-4 pairs of sneakers and shoes, that one pair of slippers you have is what God is using to give you as many as you want. If only you can put it within yourself that you can break away from poverty. Poverty simply means lack. Again, know it. Poverty is not a curse. Many people in Liberia think that poverty is a curse, so if they don't have, then they are cursed. Poverty simply means lack. If you don't have a money, you are poor. That's poverty right there. When you have that money, you have come out of poverty, meaning you are not lacking what you lack first. Don't see it as a curse. Don't see it as a situation you can come out of. Don't ever cry. Don't worry. Don't feel self-sorrowful. No. Just know that you have everything in you, and only when you can unleash what you have, then you are out of poverty. Unleashing your potential get you out of poverty with just one thing: education. And may I say to you that education is relative. It's relative. In our country, whenever most people hear the word education, they'll think of university, college, polytechnic, what they call higher education. So it makes some people feel afraid, self-afraid, and they put on self-defect that they don't have that kind of education, so they can't do anything. They prefer to stay with their condition, and they complain that they are poor. Education is relative. Education is formal and informal. But here is it. Education is anything that is within your mentor that you can use that will give you money. That's what education is. Another word for education is exposed or exposure. What you have in you is the education, and that education gives you the empowerment. That empowerment means you are out of poverty. Education is any ability that you have to earn what you want to earn by just applying it. Look at the boys at the mechanic shop. That is not a formal place. That's not a place for formal education. But they are getting education by tutor, by guardians. At the close of the day, they have money in their pocket. Carefully look at some of those things. At the end of the day, you see those small boys coming together and telling each other, let's go to this place. Let's go and eat. Let's go and get. Why? Because they're tutoring by their seniors and they follow the instruction. They got the education, and that education put money in the pocket. That money is the empowerment. So they can make decision. Anything you do, the young boys, young girls, they go along with the mothers, their fathers at the business center, helping them. What they're doing is they are drilling through. They're drilling them through. That's education they're gaining right there. In the house, whatever. All those things are education. Don't understand education to mean only university, polytechnic, no, a college. That's education, yes, but that kind of education, it's what is referred to as formal education. But relatively, education is anything that you apply that earns you money, be it negative or positive. Did you get that? Coming out of poverty, there is something called economic empowerment. What I've just explained to you, economic empowerment. Everybody wants money. Everybody wants material. Everybody wants to look good. That's empowerment. But do you know that everybody is empowered? Everybody is empowered by God. What we do on a daily basis is we are developing. If there wasn't an empowerment, there will be no development. It is natural. The potential is natural. We only need to bring it out. Economic empowerment is where you have money to do X, Y, Z, you are relaxed, but it is not automatic. It is not. God did not set anything on the earth automatic. Everything you have to earn it. That means you have to work for it. The ability is within everyone to earn. There isn't a person on the earth who does not have the ability. Economic empowerment is not automatic. Certainly not. Neither is it open heaven that you just hope because you are lacking and you want X, Y, Z, and God feels sorry for you, and then he opens the heaven, drops down money in your room, Liberian dollars, US dollars, and then he starts to drop materials. No, it doesn't work that way. Everything coming out of poverty is by action, and that action is the potential or ability you get to earn what you lack. Don't sit. Don't say you can. Don't see your condition as a poverty-stricken condition perpetually. Some people just accept their condition. And when you accept your condition as it is, you're not going to come out. Don't ever be satisfied with the condition you find yourself in. If you are, then it means you have not realized that you have the potential to come out of it. So you will not unleash it, but rather stay in it. Malcolm X said, If you develop a sit-down attitude, you'll get a sit-down result. And he was right. If you develop a sit-down attitude, you'll get a sit-down result. Meaning, if you're not exerting yourself, that's where you will be. And you see very many people like that today. And those are the ones who go around complaining that things are hard. The country is hard. We know that's true. Things are hard. But in the midst of hardship, there is the ability given every one of us by God to unleash so that we come out of poverty. That means we will not lack. Coming out of poverty means developing your skill, which is your potential to unleash and build self-confidence. That way, you can achieve your goal. Self-confidence is needed in coming out of poverty. Say to yourself, this is who I am. This is what I lack, and I am going to come out. I have this idea. Let me rehearse this idea. That means to think about it real good. And I will get into action. And I know before the close of day, I will have a solution. Some people thought that way. Before 3, 4, things start to work for them. And they can't believe it. They start to express surprise. That's how it is. Listen, the entire atmosphere is filled with opportunities, window of opportunities. The entire atmosphere is filled with opportunities of all kinds. The earth lacks nothing that the inhabitants cannot take advantage of to come out of poverty. Certainly not. So don't worry about the education. Don't say, I have not university education, I have not polytechnic or college education, I have no vocational education, so let me just be as I am. Certainly, I don't think education is relative. It's anything that you use potentially to come out. And when you apply it, you are out of poverty. Simple. Anything, people, anything that earns you money or materials for your life is empowerment, which means you are out of poverty. You're not lacking again. Assume, let me give you a simple understanding, because I don't want you to be thinking this way. But before then, I'm imagining how some of the people who are Christians, you'll hear them say they go in the church and other places and they are excited to give testimony, and they are talking. Along the way, you hear them say, and poverty is not my portion. Poverty is not my portion. I reject it. I send it back to the sender. But the person who is giving the testimony has a situation. The person is in poverty, but the person is doing nothing to come out of poverty. After the testimony, the person goes back worrying and weeping. So some people think if they stood up and gave testimony and say poverty is not my portion, then it wouldn't be. It's automatic. It is not. Testimony, be it whatever. Testimony simply means you admitting that you were poverty-stricken and you are no longer in that condition. What you lack, you now have. That's what it is. That's all. Nothing extra attached to it. When you're saying testimony, you're only saying that I was in this condition, now I am out of it. So the next person who is listening and is in a poverty condition or is lacking, that person is motivated to drop every laziness, every mental weakness, and exert himself to come out and say, if my brother can come out, if he can apply, if he can use his ability as evident by the testimony he's giving, I too can. That's what testimony is all about. You will not get out when you can exert yourself. If you want to spiritualize it again, you can pray for 1 week that you want to get out. How empty that 1 week prayer will be when you can get into action. Every person who was in poverty, both the Old and New Testament, they had to do something to come out of poverty. Poverty is any condition, whatever the severity or less, that you lack or you find it hard to come out. It is weighing on you. Coming out of poverty by unleashing your potential, you will have to do away with negative self-talk. Negative self-talk is the same as self-defect anyway. Negative self-talk, TLK, negative self-talk. You'll have to do away with it if you should come out of poverty. Say nothing negative to yourself, of yourself, within yourself. Neither must you just go about explaining your poverty-stricken condition from one person to another. No. We are told by God the first step to coming out of poverty. God knows that everybody, or he knows everybody's condition. He knows those who lack, meaning they are poor, and poverty simply means lack. I beg you, it doesn't have anything extra to it. It simply means lack. So he knows those who lack and those who have. That is why when you obey his instruction by taking the problem to him, then he sends you to the person who have, so that you will come out of poverty. The woman lack. What did he tell the woman? He said, go to your neighbor and ask them. Why did he send the woman to her neighbors? Because he had already empowered the neighbors. And when she did, she came out of poverty. Don't say negative things of yourself. I'm not going to come out of this, and life's just against me, and this thing here, it came from my people. They don't want me to prosper. They're doing all kinds of things against me. You hear people like that. Some people put their laziness on their family members. They put it on the father, on the mother, and say the father or the mother took the name to medicine man so the child can prosper. Why it is true that we have bad people on earth, but I don't think a person will want to suppress his or her own biological blood when that person is the source. Meaning, if that person is sufficient or has, it benefits the mother, the father, or the family. But some people will conclude that the reason they are poverty-stricken because they are cursed by the family. somebody in the family has taken their name to Mercy Men so they can prosper. They are bad people. I can dispute that 100%. But there are people who will only need you to do what you ought to do to come out. You want to stop saying negative things about yourself, and that is self-defect, meaning you can't make it. It is hard. If you went to this place, it will not happen. If you went to sort a business opportunity from this person, he will not do it, and that person is not good, and that person, all you're saying all kinds of things to yourself. Psychologically, you are putting yourself down. You are setting yourself backward. At the close of the day, nothing going to change about you. When you see other people's condition, especially within the same community, and you will be thinking, saying to yourself that that person has gone through. And you see that with some of our ladies. It is true that people do all manner of things to come out of poverty. People make sacrifice. People do a lot to come out of poverty because they want to look good. But there are very many young men and women who earn themselves out of poverty by applying their gift. You will notice in our society, when the lady notice young lady is in her car, in a community, what do you hear? They start to gossip that lady and say, don't mind them, or you see them shining like that. They eat all kinds of things. So the lady is saying, because she doesn't have a car, because her life has not moved from where she is to another level as she wants, simply because she's not exerting any effort. So the lady that has a car and the lady life has moved from one level to another, that lady gone to Mercy Men. You hear them say, don't see them like that. They're doing all kinds of things. It is not for you to think that way, neither for you to say. It is for you to say within yourself that I can take myself out of this condition. Nobody can do it for me. I am the only person who can do it. God first, and I'm getting into action. When you focus on other people's condition, you will not get out of your poverty condition. You will continue to remain lacking. Everybody not the same. Everybody can never be the same. Everybody will never, ever be the same. But everybody got the potential to come out. Unless you can develop your potential, unless you can get into action, coming out of poverty by unleashing your potential, it will just be an illusion. It will just be an illusion. Don't talk anything negative. Drop negative self-talk. Develop the mentality that you have the ability to achieve success. And truly, when you put on that mentality, the reality will be your testimony. Oh yes, it will be your testimony. Finally, and then we out. When you have done what I have just explained, it will then take you to a full empowerment. And this is where you can decide now and say, I can do this, I will do this. It is called making projection or budgeting. Did you get it? Making projection. You cannot make projection when you are lacking, when you are still in poverty. You make projection when you have the money, but the projection is not the money. The projection is the assurance, the relaxedness that you are going to get XYZ as per your priority. So, yes, it is the morning. I have the show at 8 o'clock. So 6 o'clock, I'm up and getting ready. Leaving my house, one of the projections is when I'm finished with the show, this is what I am going to eat. Why did I say that? Because I have the money. If I didn't have the money, I won't make projection. Just so you understand simply what I'm saying. When you unleash your potential and you move to the next level, which is the empowerment, meaning you now have what you did not have. What you have now, you are in power. Now, at this point, you can make projection. That means you can say, I can do this, I will do that, I will buy this, I will get this, I will do this. Making projection, it is simply planning for the present and the future. Projection is not money, but the items or materials you want to get. Those items or materials are written down with priority. When the money is available, then you move to get those items or materials you have projected. Please note, you cannot make projection if you got not, or you can unleash your potential or ability to get money. No. You can. Nobody makes projection when he or she does not have. When the woman wakes up in the morning, whatever the time, and then she's getting ready to go to the market, and she takes her list, she's itemizing. Why is she itemizing? She is projecting those materials she wants. And the reason for that, because the economic is real. She has the money. So when she finish with all of those, when she finish with itemizing or budgeting, then she takes the money and goes to the market and buy. The same for everybody. Simple. That's what it is. Poverty, as we close, simply means lack. L-A-C-K. Poverty is not a curse. Poverty is not a curse. Poverty simply means you don't have what you want. When you have what you want, you are not poverty stricken. If I want to drink a soft drink, which costs is 70 Liberian dollars, and I do not have that 70 Liberian dollars, I am poor because I lack that 70 Liberian dollars. If somebody came and gave me the 70 or $100, I am out of poverty, meaning I can afford the soft drink, take the money, give it to the seller, and then the seller will give me the soft drink. Right there, my, how do you call this? Needs and want met. Simple. That's what it is. So don't look down upon yourself. Don't see yourself as you can make it. Don't see yourself as the sit down type. Then you will get the sit down attitude, as Malcolm S. said. If you develop a sit down attitude, you'll get a sit down result. You got to exert yourself. And when you exerting yourself, the opportunities will unfold themselves and you will get confused. Which way? How do I? Which one should I go for? Which one should I take? People exerted their efforts. They unleashed their potential, and too many opportunities unfolded to them. There are too many people in this country with that testimony. If I open the line, and which I can do because it's not for call-in, you will hear too many people explaining how they came out of poverty. And you can break free from poverty by just unleashing your potential, which is a supernatural imputation. God put that into everybody. Unless you unleash it, unless you show that ability, you cannot come out. You will continue to remain lacking. And it is not a curse. Certainly not. It is not a curse. Poverty is not a curse. Don't look down upon yourself. Just when you are lacking, say to yourself, what do I do? When you exert yourself, even wherever you are, people will sought after you. Martin Luther King said, whatever a man finds to do, do it to the best of your ability. That's the same unleashing your potential he was referencing. Do it to the best of your ability so that you get in power. How did he explain the empowerment? He said, even if the man builds his house in the wood, W-O-O-D, even if the man builds his house in the wood, the wall, W-O-R-L-D, will make a beating path through his door to get him out, to use his expertise. And that expertise gives him what he was lacking. Simple. Don't give up. Don't put on any self-defect. Don't put on negative self-talk. All you need to do is exert yourself, which is unleashing your potential. And potential means the ability. Unleashing means coming from in out. Coming from in out. And as you do, the opportunities start to flow. Simple. It's not hard. You can only stay in the condition lacking if you can unleash your potential. Poverty is not a bad word. I should say that as we wind down. Why I need to say it this way? Because very many people in our culture think that it is a bad word and it is a curse. And if I should sound disrespectful and unruly from a spiritual standpoint, please accept it. Some pastors made people to believe that poverty is a bad word and poverty is a curse. So that is why you see people, they will do things against their will, they will endanger their life, risk their life because they want to come out of it and they want to give testimony. Poverty is not a bad word. Poverty is not a curse. You can break free from poverty by just unleashing your potential. It is supernatural. It is not natural, it is supernatural. God imputed that into every being on the earth. And that is why God did nothing extra for anybody by himself. People going down, kneeling before him, and he's opening the warehouse and giving people materials and money. Every person who was poverty-stricken in the days of old had to use their potential, had to unleash their potential to come out. Simple. God does not work. He does not bring you out of poverty simply because you feel sorry. You are crying, you are weeping, you are worrying. God comes along to create additional opportunities when you are unleashing your potential, God does not feel sorry for anybody who has the potential and is not unleashing it. You can weep, you can cry, you can complain for the rest of your life. You will never see God coming along. But when you take that decision to rise up, that's when. Last week, I told you of Kafka. The story is found in the book. Can readily recall now the name. I have that in my research lab, but it is written by Heinrich Fromm. Very good book on hope, faith, and all these things. He tells the story of Kafka, that Kafka needed to come out of poverty. The window of opportunity was open unto Kafka. Kafka sat at the gate from his early childhood up to his adulthood, his manhood, and up to his old agehood, if that is a word, but please accept it just for the lecture. Kafka would not exert himself, but the opportunity was there for Kafka to take. Kafka felt that somebody needed to come to him and beg him and even pay him to take advantage of the opportunity. Kafka, in his old age, frail, the gate is about to be closed. The keepers come to close the door, the gate that was open for Kafka, window of opportunities within there. It was when Kafka said that they should let him in. And at that time, the gate was shut. Too many people today, opportunities are afforded unto them, but they are not taking advantage of it by unleashing their potential. At the time they will get ready, the door is shut. Break free from poverty by unleashing your potential, and it will work for you. Thank you for being with us this morning for this motivational talk. Unleash your potential on Kings 88.5. It's intended to motivate you, to get you out of that negative thought, getting your business to another level, whatever the business you are in, commercial driving, selling products, whichever way, in the office, wherever you are, just to get you out. That's why it was designed by the management of Kings 88.5. And no better time to have it than Saturday. Thank you ever so much. We are back next week, Saturday. We'll look at another topic. Last week, we talked about time and time management. This week, we talk breaking free from poverty. I'm Sam Andrews. Thanks to all of you who came on to get the education so that you come out of whatever situation you have. All of you, Rita, Yolo, Richie, Kimon, Patricia, Brown, Joy Blaze, Zanambu, Kaba, Emmanuel, Winning, Blaman, Donna, Fatu, Conan, Prince Coleman, Robin Cannon, Ivan P, and Eugene Jobo. My dear brother, thank you, Eugene Jobo, for coming on. All of you. And let me greet my dear sister who followed the show always, Orita Choir. You're there in Delaware, the United States. I hope that you are faring well. Thank you ever so much. So that's how we go home. We're back next week, Saturday, if God permits. Unleash your potential.
Unleash your potential.